Okay, was not even unmuted. Worst time to keep a deadline by 3:30 दोपहर में. सो के उठा हूँ. Oh. So let us just go through last game week का score. Mm, mm, mm. The last game week में we got 61 points. Very near to average points. Average points I think सिर्फ एक ही बार हम जिंदगी में देखेंगे इस season, and that is going to be the first game week. उसके अलावा average points are pretty useless. तो इसके अलावा लाइक हैंडरसन का काफ़ी अच्छा असिस्ट था ओपोनेंट के लिए आई थिंक. बट हाँ मतलब अब ले लिया तो वी वोंट बी स्विचिंग एनी कीपर्स फॉर नाउ फॉर श्योर. इसके बाद लुइस हॉल इज समथिंग विच इज सरप्राइजिंग कि मतलब मैं सोच रहा था कि येलो कार्ड मिल गया तो इसको हाफ टाइम में निकाल देंगे या फिर क्लीन शीट भी नहीं मिलेगी. बट ही स्टेड थ्रू. एंड देन रूबेन यास एंड गैब्रियल एज यूजुअल परफॉर्म्ड. दे यूजुअली परफॉर्म. Midfield में we have Nkunku, Eze, Garnacho, Gibbs White and Salah. तो यहाँ पे I think Nkunku, the worst part is yeah, Palmer is a doubt, but I think start कर जाएगा. Wolves के अगेंस्ट से start कर जाएगा. It's not that it's a big injury or something like that. Okay. तो फिर उसके बाद हाँ Nkunku का थोड़ा अनश्योर है बिकॉज कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग में ही प्लेड 60 minutes. Now I don't want him to start alongside Nicholas Jackson again. That is not fair to him. I think if अगर मैरेस्का ने देखा है ऑलरेडी तो उसको पता चलेगा होगा कि एनकुकू कौन से एरियाज में अच्छा खेलता है. तो विद निकोलस जैक्सन नो वे. देन गानाचो इतना ओपन चांस भाई कौन मिस करता है गानाचो भाई. I could have got 70 points just with Garnacho scoring that last chance. So, but it's fine. Salah obviously doing his bits. हाँ बट इप्सविच टाउन का भी हम बात करते हैं बिकॉज मेनी पीपल आर थिंकिंग अबाउट ट्रिपल कैप्टनिंग हालैंड. सो राहुल व्हाट डू यू थिंक हाउ विल हालैंड डू वर्सेस इप्सविच बिकॉज लोग ट्रिपल कैप्टन करने का सोच रहे हैं. देर आर वेरी लेस इंस्टेंसेस इन द सीजन जहाँ पे तुम्हें क्लियर कट ट्रिपल कैप्टन करने का दिखता है मतलब स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड दिखता है. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट इट. या एग्जैक्टली. तो या दिस वाज माय परफॉर्मेंस नॉट बैड. आई थिंक ओवरऑल रैंक देखे तो around 3 million, 3.3 million. Not bad for the first game week. First 5 game weeks में तो I don't give a fuck about my rank, to be very honest. But decent game week. अब हम थोड़ा न्यूज़ देख लेते हैं. If we कोई सस्पेंशंस हैं. Yeah, exactly. इसलिए हालैंड and the best thing about Haaland's triple captain is that हमने इप्सविच को पहले गेम वीक में देखा and they didn't park versus Liverpool, which is good news for Haaland. पर जो भी मतलब अगर सिटी को खेलता है तो एट द एंड पार्क कर ही देता है. मतलब सिटी और लिवरपूल में बहुत डिफरेंस है अभी. बट मैकेना, डू वी ट्रस्ट मैकेना दैट ही वोंट पार्क वर्सेस सिटी. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना, अगर अगर वो पार्क करती हैं, अगर इप्सविच पार्क करती है फिर भी सिटी मारेगी, 5 जरूर मारेगी. बट उसमें से हालैंड कितने इन्वॉल्व होगा उसमें, दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. और अगर वो पार्क नहीं करती है देन दैट इज अ गुड न्यूज फॉर हालैंड बिकॉज ही विल फाइंड मोर स्पेसेस. एंड वो हमने देखा लिवरपूल के अगेंस्ट इप्सविच वर ब्रेव. सो विल वी सी द सेम इप्सविच प्लेइंग अवे फ्रॉम होम. हाँ. सो लेट्स सी कोई इंजरी न्यूज़ है. कौन सा picked up an injury. This guy is already out. Let's see if he can train today. इंजरी तो नहीं है, इसने तो बहाना बना दिया था, इसको तो निकाल दिया था हाफ टाइम में. तो इसने बोला यस सोलांके इज आउट. नाउ फॉर द सोलांके ओनर्स, are you going to keep him or are you going to remove him? Because that will be a question. Uh, क्योंकि you're fucked either ways because you have to make a transfer and the problem is कि you have planned this, you have planned your team इतने टाइम तक and randomly ऐसा player injure हो गया second game week में and you have to use your transfer. So that is the sad part. No memories and no fresh injuries. Okay. तो पावर टोरे स्टार्ट करेगा कौन सा के साथ? Nothing new. Ivan Tony. Wow, Ivan Tony missed out in game week 1. There are no guarantees he'll be back this game week. Okay, he could be involved. He could not be involved. Okay. So maybe can we see a bits of Ivan Tony? We'll see a lot of -4 being taken. क्योंकि अब सबको randomly Haaland चाहिए and injuries आ गई हैं. बहुत सारे Solanke is out, Konsa is out. So there are going to be injuries. Or sorry, there are going to be transfers. New signings and the Burge is not available to start according to Marco Silva. Everyone else is fit, but this press conference was before Anderson's announcement. So Anderson signed किया है Fulham ने from Crystal Palace. तो he is going to start every game week, but for now मुझे नहीं लगता ये game week start करेगा. और उसने last game week खेला था for Crystal Palace. So what if he just starts randomly मतलब lineup में दिख जाए तो मैं. Ayu has by the way signed for Leicester City. Random transfer, बहुत random transfer. Ayu has signed for Leicester City. Who else? Brooks, Adamant, ना चलो इसका फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Gary O'Neil, no issues. Okay. So it's Wolves versus कौन खेल रहा है? Wolves versus Chelsea, right? Maresca revealed Sanchez will remain the Premier League number 1. That is good news for the opponents. Neto would start another game. João Felix is a big problem for Nkunku. But if he starts on the left wing and Nkunku starts as a number 10, then it's fine. I think हमें leaks मिलेंगे. Leaks मिल जाएंगे in probably, what do we call it? It's 240 right now. By 3:15, I think we should get leaks. So you could just stay tuned. Arsenal will be without Tomiyasu and Tierney for weeks. Okay. Is unsure, but is really good. So Zinchenko start करेगा, right? Or Kivior. Kivior was there in the squad or not. Rodri is still out. Can Ipswich disappoint City like Southampton? That will be fun. That will be fun to watch. Okay. तो सोलांके में हम पहले आ जाते हैं. तो सोलांके का decision whether to transfer him out or keep him. If it was any other season, if it was any other season, I would have said कि उसको bench में डालो, just roll your transfer. Okay, but now you're fucked because there are a lot of players that you're already missing out on. जैसे मेरे टीम में साला है, तो I'm missing out on Saka and Bruno. So I'm already missing out on players and ऊपर से मेरे injuries आ रखी हैं टीम में. तो you have to make the move. मेरे हिसाब से सोलांके को हटाना पड़ेगा. You have no choice. Because you're already missing out on so many players, right? जैसे अगर आप मेरा टीम देखो, I have Salah here, right? जैसे मैंने बोला, because I have Salah here, I'm missing out on Saka and Son and Bruno Fernandes. तो ये रिस्क मैंने लिया है. आप सोचो Salah इंजर्ड हो गया, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई वाज ऑलरेडी मिसिंग आउट ऑन अदर प्लेयर्स एंड ऊपर से मेरा खुद का प्लेयर भी इंजर्ड हो गया. तो सेम थिंग, सेम लॉजिक गोस फॉर सोलांके राइट नाउ. अब सोलांके आपके टीम में आ गया है, आपको हटाना पड़ेगा because you're already missing out on other options. So I think the first very good option for Solanke, most of the Solanke transfers, अगर हम 7.5 million में देखें, Vardy would be funny. Most transfers are being made to Muniz just because the fixtures are too good. Leicester, Ipswich, West Ham. I think Fulham से सबसे ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग मेरे को प्लेयर एंडर्स पेरेरा रखा है. This is a very tough call, very tough call, because I'm not yet convinced by Muniz. But you have to also think that कि आपको भी 3 strikers खिलाने और you want an extra midfielder. Like मैंने start किया था अपना season with a 5th midfielder, and I didn't have Solanke in my team. So that is somehow helping me right now. But Yeah, for you right now, I'm just giving you options. The first one is going to be Muniz. I think Fulham looked decent versus United, but मेरे को Pereira अच्छा लगा था. Smith Rowe थोड़ा दिखा था, not as much as he performed in preseason, but Andres Pereira was everywhere. But Muniz is still, I'm not sure. Second option will be Wood, Chris Wood, 6.1 million. इसका भी प्राइस हो गया था. So he's 6.1 million and he's facing Southampton, Wolves, Brighton, and Fulham. I just trust Wood more because of his performance in not just last season, a lot of seasons before. Like managers who had him during Burnley days. I had him during Burnley days जब Burnley खेलती थी निक पोप के साथ, जी रॉड्रिगेज उन सब के साथ. तो उस टाइम से क्रिस वुड रहा है. He has been a proven striker. First game week में he got 9 points. And Southampton के against, yes, there should be goals. Second option is Chris Wood. Or the third thing you can do is bench Solanke. If you feel that you're not missing out on many players, if you feel that you can sustain for one game week, what you can do is you can bench Solanke. You can listen to the news next game week कि मतलब कैसा हाल है उसका. I think he's going to miss the next game week also. So, but you'll have more sample, you'll have more data to analyze from, to choose from. आपको थोड़ी clarity मिल जाएगी कि दूसरे players कैसा perform कर रहे हैं. Because predicting is another thing and having facts is a different thing, right? So yeah. So yes, Muniz is a good option, but what if you want 5 midfielders बीच में? 5 midfielders are important as well. मेरे को लगता है कि वो shift होगा momentum, because अगर आप देखो, I'll say if forwards में I'll just remove everything. Isaac, Haaland and Watkins के अलावा most of them are budget strikers. Okay, Havertz को भी हटा दो. ये चारों के अलावा more are budget strikers. तो budget strikers के ऊपर आप कितना trust रखोगे going to into the season? So that is something important. And बहुत सारे managers को तो मैंने देखा है, they don't have Haaland right now. So question for you, will you triple captain Ipswich? Oh, sorry, will you triple captain Haaland versus Ipswich? Because I'm very close to do that. Very close to do that. I think Advait was going to triple captain, right? I think जो मैं basically करूँगा उसको opposite करने वाला है. That is what. Yeah. So yeah, first home game of the season है City का. What if Gundogan starts? That will be fun, right? Gundogan start कर रहा है because Rodri is out, है ना? And Gundo को तो भाई क्या ही problem है start करने में. What if he starts? I think if you have someone, if you want to take a differential for this game week, I think Foden might not be the bad option. Foden was benched in the last game week. Even though 9.5 million है वो, if you want a differential in midfield, I don't think Foden is a bad option. Doku भी start करेगा left wing में, so वो भी एक है, but I trust Foden more. Okay. So in this game week, I'm going to roll a transfer. I'm not going to make any transfer. जैसे आपको मेरी टीम दिख रही है. But one change that I've done in my team is I'm starting Van de Ven over Lewis Hall. एक तो न्यूकासल की पहले बात करते हैं. न्यूकासल was not that convincing in the first game week. किसको खेल रहे थे? Southampton को खेल रहे थे न्यूकासल, and Southampton had more shots, which is not. They were playing Southampton and Southampton had more shots. So I was not convinced by Newcastle in the first game week, and मेरे को लगता है they can concede. Bournemouth also. तो इसलिए right now I'm starting Van de Ven over Lewis. And also मुझे लगता है कि Everton has a lot of injuries, right? And Tarkowski or Coleman, Bradford, all of these players are out or are doubts. Okay. तो उस हिसाब से मुझे लगता है कि वैन डे वेन कवर्स पेड्रो पोरो एज वेल. अटैकिंग आउटपुट तो नहीं कर पाएगा. अगर गलती से भी हेडर आ गया देन इट्स गुड फॉर मी, बट वैन डे वेन कवर्स पेड्रो पोरो फॉर मी फॉर नाउ, एंड आई प्रिफर हिम ओवर लुइस हॉल. एंड अभी वैसे शार को भी रेड कार्ड मिल गया था, तो न्यूकासल की बैकलाइन लेने वाली है लिवरामेंटो, एमिल क्राफ्ट और एक और कौन है, बर्न एंड लुइस हॉल. तो ये बैकलाइन उतनी खास नहीं लगती मुझे, इवन दो लिब्रामेंटो इज समथिंग दैट वी कैन लुक इनटू गोइंग फॉरवर्ड इनटू द सीजन, बिकॉज लिब्रामेंटो जब चल जाता है ना तो ही इज वेरी एक्सप्लोसिव। हमने प्री सीजन में भी उसका काफी अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस रहा है। तो फॉर इफ यू हैव समवन लाइक कौन सा, आप कौन सा की बात करते हैं, कौन सा थोड़े लोग के पास था, तो कौन सा को रिप्लेस करने के फ्यू ऑप्शंस, द फर्स्ट वन इज गोइंग टू बी एंटनी रॉबिन्सन, very favorite defender for this game week, Anthony Robinson. Okay, this guy is priced at 4.5 million. Fixtures are dependable. Next up fixtures देखे तो Leicester, Ipswich, West Ham, Newcastle, 3 home fixtures. Okay, and then Newcastle. Sorry, then Nottingham Forest and Anderson is coming up with Fulham. So you do expect Fulham to keep at least 2 clean sheets out of next 4 fixtures. तो द फर्स्ट वन इज, जैसे मैंने बोला था, एंटनी रॉबिन्सन. द सेकेंड वन इज गोइंग टू बी लिवरामेंटो, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ हिज अटैकिंग स्ट्रेंथ. बिकॉज लिवरामेंटो ऐसा बंदा है जो बड़े बड़े हॉल्स करता है. ही इज नॉट, वो गोल्स, वो असिस्ट से पहले गोल्स मारेगा. सो लिवरामेंटो लाइक्स टू मूव इन टू द बॉक्स, इनवर्ड फुल बैक है, काइंड ऑफ इनवर्ड फुल बैक है. तो उस हिसाब से यस, ही इज फेसिंग बॉर्नमथ, स्पर्स, या थोड़े ट्रिकी फिक्चर्स हैं, बट फ्रॉम द अवेलेबल ऑप्शंस उस प्राइस रेंज में, फॉर दैट आई विल प्रिफर लिवरामेंटो. एंड द थर्ड ऑप्शन इज लिसांड्रो मार्टिनेज. Lisandro Martinez. I expect this guy to start in every game week from now. One question for you is, will Delete start over Harry Maguire? और या फिर उसको थोड़ा और टाइम मिलने वाला है? डू यू थिंक डेलिट इज गोइंग टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द नेक्स्ट गेम वीक? एंड ब्राइटन इज गोइंग टू बी अ वेरी ट्रिकी फिक्चर, क्योंकि मैंने ब्राइटन का मैच नहीं देखा था एंड दे डिड रियली वेल. दे बीट 3-0, राइट? हाँ, एवर्टन को 3-0 पीटा है. मिटोमा, ओ भाई. मिलनर इज प्लेइंग. वाओ, मिलनर. We see Milner facing United in 2024. So yeah, tricky fixture for United. It's not going to be easy. Yeah, Mitoma versus Dallo. So Suyash, will you see Delete starting over Harry Maguire? या फिर अभी थोड़ा Delete को टाइम मिलने वाला है? Because I am looking at Lisandro Martinez as an option in the upcoming game weeks. I think Lisandro is a very dependable center back for United, right? सिर्फ इंजरी इश्यूज होते हैं इसके, and very benchable option also. ये rotate कर सकते हो आप. If you have any premiums, you can rotate Martinez with any premium. If you have Pedro Porro, yeah. Yes, Southampton, Crystal Palace, Spurs, Aston Villa. Okay. So there is one more substitute that I wanted to play. I was thinking about starting Howard Taylor Pellis. बहुत weird है. He's facing Nottingham Forest at home. मैं गैब्रियल को बेंच करना चाहता था. Is that sane? Yeah, he's the captain as well, right? He's the captain, और कौन है अभी? मैगवायर का भी मैगवायर ही है ना, I think captain. So it will be very tough to bench him right now. I think yeah, Delete will be brought on, and then gradually from the next game week he'll be started. Delete is priced at I think 5 million, right? Let's see. Delete is priced at 5.0. Actually playing out Taylor. Wow. सही है. लास्ट गेम वीक ही वाज आउट टू स्कोर, राइट? आई थिंक ऑफसाइड गोल उसने मारा था. तो लेट्स सी हाउ इट डज. इट्स नॉट अ बैड ऑप्शन. सो यू आर गोइंग टू बेंच सोलांके, सुयश? So you are going to bench Solanke and not sell him? Do you think he'll be back? Okay. So who are you getting? Zirkzee. A lot of managers are looking at Zirkzee. Will Zirkzee start? जोक्सी स्टार्ट करेगा क्या? आई वांट टू सी सम लीक्स यार, ट्विटर में लीक्स क्यों नहीं आ रहे? एंड विद एक तो लाइनअप्स इन लोग ने 15 मिनट अर्ली कर दिया ना, तो पहले 1 घंटे पहले लाइनअप्स रिलीज होती थी, अभी 1 आवर 15 मिनट्स पहले रिलीज होंगी लाइनअप्स, विच इज जस्ट, इट मेक्स द लीक्स मच मोर इजी टू ट्रैक। तो आपको लीक्स जरूर मिलेंगी। आई थिंक इन नेक्स्ट 15-20 मिनट्स वील हैव सम लीक्स अबाउट द फर्स्ट गेम वीक, फर्स्ट दैट इज ब्राइटन वर्सेस यूनाइटेड। इफ यू आर लुकिंग फॉर समवन लाइक जर्गजी, तो उसकी न्यूज शायद आपको मिल सकती है, उनकी लीक्स हो सकती है। So how many are going to? Okay, so let's talk about my midfield. So midfield में something that my game week really depends on. Okay. तो starting with Nkunku. भाई कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग में तो काफी सही किया था इसने। नंबर 10 खिलाओ प्लीज। निकोलस जैक्सन नो ब्रो प्लीज। निकोलस जैक्सन बहुत ही, निकोलस जैक्सन लाइक पूरा मूड खराब कर देता है। लाइक ही वाज अराउंड सो मेनी चांसेस निकोलस जैक्सन, एंड उसी पोजीशन में अगर एनकूकू रहता, राइट, सो आई वांट एनकूकू टू प्ले मोर मिनट्स। कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग में क्यों स्टार्ट करा रहे हो तुझे? पर तेरी टीम क्या है? टीम तो भेज दे। ओके भेजा है, 1 मिनट रुक जा। लेट्स सी, मार्का की टीम देखते हैं। मार्का ने भी तो इतनी फाड़ टीम बनाई है। डार्विन नूनेस तो लास्ट गेम भी था ही नहीं। मार्का की टीम देखते हैं। मार्का, विल यू, अ लॉट ऑफ मैनेजर्स आर प्लेइंग ट्रिपल कैप्टन हालैंड को, एंड तेरे पास हालैंड है ही नहीं। आर यू वरीड? शेयर करता हूँ स्क्रीन, 1 मिनट। ओके 1 मिनट। ये मार्का की टीम है। विकारियो, गॉर्डियोल, आर्नल्ड, गैब्रियल, ब्रूनो फर्नांडिस, डी ब्रुयना, साका, जाओ पेड्रो, डार्विन नूनेस एंड इजैक। इसके बेंच में कोई नहीं है। तो who 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 will you captain? I think Son. That is, ये तो बहुत बड़ा assumption है यार। फर्स्ट 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 होम गेम फॉर सिटी, बाय द वे, एंड यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग हिम टू गेट ओनली 1 गोल। देख डार्विन नूनेस का मैं बोल रहा हूँ, चेक कर ले। डार्विन नूनेस का सही नहीं लग रहा मुझे। ब्रूनो फर्नांडिस, ओके कैप्टन, आई डोंट, आई सी सॉन। आई थिंक सॉन सही है फॉर द कैप्टनसी, राइट? I think Son is pretty dependable. At home, you don't have Solanke, so Son should get a penalty at least versus Everton. But this could be a slow game as well, क्योंकि Everton पैक करने वाली है। तो I think you can, हाँ ये देखो, this guy is going to triple captain. I think you can remove Nunes. Let me see Nunes का क्या सीन है। Is Nunes going to start? Because last time तो नहीं था वो। Okay, and Nunes is in training. तो आई थिंक नूनेस, इट विल बी टफ। नूनेस को निकाल सकता है तू। तो जैसे हमने बात की थी यहाँ पे थोड़े ऑप्शंस की, लेट मी जस्ट शेयर माय स्क्रीन। इफ यू गो टू फॉरवर्ड्स एंड परसेंटेज, तो नूनेस इज प्राइस एट 7.4 मिलियन, तो प्राइस डाउन ऑलरेडी हो चुका है। तो एट 7.5 मिलियन यू हैव फ्यू ऑप्शंस। यू हैव मुनीस who is priced at 6.1 million. इसके फिक्चर्स डिसेंट है, वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट हिम बिफोर। इज फेसिंग लेस्टर एंड इप्सविच। एंड दूसरा ऑप्शन है वुड। ओके, वुड इज फेसिंग साउथहैम्पटन एंड वुल्स अवे, वुल्स होम। नाउ द डिफरेंस इज दैट कि वुड इज अ मच मोर प्रूवन एसेट। बोनली के टाइम से हम उसको देख रहे हैं, तो मच मोर प्रूवन एसेट। तो दीज टू आर गुड ऑप्शंस। थर्ड ऑप्शन जोग्जी हो जाता है, बट जोग्जी का भी श्योर नहीं है कि he'll start or not. So in next 15-20 minutes we'll know whether he starts or not. ठीक है? And now looking, I think you can captain. I think अगर तेरे को seriously बताओ तो you can captain Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, I think, is much more dependable. He's on penalties, and last game week में पता नहीं how did he not score a brace. So I'm really scared about uh, Bruno Fernandes, how he's going to perform. But the second person that you can captain is Saka. मेरे हिसाब से Saka is also, he did really well. He had really good stats. अगर आप देखिए सबसे अच्छे स्टार्ट्स किसके थे फर्स्ट गेम वीक में, तो फर्स्ट वन वाज, एक मिनट, ओके उसका तो टीम नहीं आ रहा बट ठीक है. हाँ, सो इज एनीवन प्लानिंग टू कैप्टन apart from Salah? मतलब Salah and Haaland. If you don't have Salah or Haaland, who are you going to captain? Because मैंने देखा है, बहुत सारे ड्राफ्ट्स देखे हैं जिनके पास नहीं है. So how are you going to survive without Haaland in this last game week? Oh, sorry, second game week. I was very close to playing a triple captain, but I think काफी लोगों ने jinx कर दिया है. Let's see जो transfer सबसे ज़्यादा किसके हैं. Transfers. Okay, it's not Haaland. Haaland is not in high demand right now. Okay, 265k. That's it. I think the surprising part was that Haaland got 7 points despite getting a yellow card. So that is something that was really surprising about Haaland. And we hope that Ipswich plays the high line. So उस हिसाब से I think it will help Haaland. Because अगर box में उन्हें, if they park the bus, then it will be tough for Haaland to, then फिर एक गोल आएगा या फिर एक assist आएगा. तो इसलिए I'm really concerned about whether to triple captain Haaland or not. इसके बाद let me check in Twitter if there are any leaks right now. I think it's last game week में server crash हो गया था 1 minute पहले. तो right now half an hour is left. Make sure that you lock in your teams, save कर दो your teams, and you know, हाँ midfield में जैसे मैं बात करता, Eze was something that did really well last game week, but points नहीं आए. He scored a free kick which was ruled out wrongly. Garnacho, I expect him to start after his performance after getting subbed in. And open goal miss किया था. He could have easily scored 10 pointer or a 12 pointer, 13 pointer. But चलो, that is fine. Gibbs White is someone that I want him to perform in this game week because it's time. मतलब इतना बड़ा differential मैं अपने team में कब तक रखूंगा? That is the question, right? And I've been kind of lucky कि I did not have Solanke I did not keep Solanke from the starting of the season. तो मैं काफी lucky रहा because he was around goals as well. It was very unfortunate that he didn't return in the first game week. Okay. So इसके बाद या तो Solanke को निकाल के, the best part about this game week is that there will be a lot of transfers because थोड़े लोग के पास Haaland नहीं है, थोड़े लोग के पास Solanke को निकालना है. तो बहुत कम मैनेजर्स होंगे जो सेव करेंगे गेम वीक. मेजॉरिटी विल सेव दिस गेम वीक बिकॉज डेड मैनेजर्स, डेड टीम्स बहुत होते हैं. बट जो रेगुलरली खेलते हैं एफपीएल वो भर भर के ट्रांसफर्स करने वाले हैं. तो द गुड पार्ट इज दैट देयर आर गोइंग टू बी हिट्स इन्वॉल्व्ड इन दिस गेम वीक. ओके, तो या एंड उसके बाद आई सी अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, जैसे मैंने बोला था, मूविंग फ्रॉम 3-4-3 टू 3-5-2 बिकॉज फॉरवर्ड्स में उतने ऑप्शंस नहीं है, अगर आप उतने डिपेंडेबल एसेट्स नहीं है. ओके, तो दैट विल बी अ टफ वन. उसके बाद या लेट्स जस्ट, व्हाट डू यू थिंक, लाइक एक मिनट हम इधर जाके देख लेते हैं फिक्चर्स में. हाउ डू यू सी हाउ डू यू सी द स्कोर्स, मतलब प्रिडिक्शंस करते हैं. चलो, ब्राइटन वर्सेस यूनाइटेड, what do you think? Is there any asset that you can look out for? Brighton versus United, I think it's going to be a 2-1 win for United. What do you think? 2-1 win for United and 1 goal for Bruno Fernandes. If you have Bruno Fernandes, then a really good someone that I would captain. If I had him in my team, I would seriously consider him to captain him. Because last game week, mein Bruno Fernandes was horrifying to watch. There were three players that I really missed out in the first game week. That was Saka, Bruno Fernandes, and Solanke. The one is injured, and उसने भी थोड़े points miss out किए. Bruno also missed out few points, and yeah. And the second is going to Crystal Palace versus West Ham. Slow, boring game. A very slow, boring game. यहाँ पे clean sheets आ सकती हैं. But I'll still say 1-1. Crystal Palace 1-1. Okay. And then Fulham versus Leicester. Finally, I think a win should come here for Fulham because Leicester, I don't think उतना sustain कर पाएगी. But I think Leicester were more impressive than Fulham in the first game week. So yeah, this could be 1-1 as well. Fulham versus Leicester. I think starting of the season may. I think it could be 1-1. Now City versus Ipswich. If McKenna plays the high line, then Haaland is going to get a lot of goals. So that is why City I'll predict 4-0 to Ipswich. And इस गेम में I think हमें बहुत सारे rotations दिखेंगे. Yeah, I need a Kudus goal. Oh, you have Kudus. Kudus, wow, what a pick. Really a good pick, but FPL potential के लिए अभी I don't know. From West Ham, I'll still just consider Bowen right now. A tough thing, a tough, a tough one, but hopefully it works out for you. So yeah, I was talking about, there could be a rotations from City this game week. I'm not fully, 100% sure that Ruben Diaz will start this game week. You could see a lot of rotations because it's Ipswich, right? But home game hai. I think best part will be if Gundogan starts. I think Gundogan start karega, so there will be good vibes. There's more chances of a good Gundogan hauling than Haaland because अगर bus park कर दिया then it will be tough. So yeah. So Isaac, I think Isaac is someone जिसको अभी he's on the watch because काफी override template option बन गए थे Isaac. So if he doesn't perform in the next few game weeks, he has a lot of options. He has a lot of, what do we say, chances to prove himself as an FPL asset because we need to see few penalties before Wilson arrives. Okay, so Isaac will be on the radar, and I don't think anyone is going to save up to 5 transfers. That will be really tough because आपको changes करने ही पड़ते हैं. Like who will save up to 5 transfers? Like I really don't understand. इतना पेशेंस किस में होता है, इतना मूवमेंट होती है एफपीएल में, इतने there's every week इतने इंजरीज होते हैं, इतने रोटेशंस होते हैं, या फिर अभी तो इंटरनेशनल ब्रेक आने वाला है. Who is going to save up to five transfers? And I have been like very lucky with my team. Even though 61 points is not bad for the first game week. I think बहुत सारे लोग को मैंने देखा है getting higher scores, but it's just about the first game week. ऐसे चले जाते हैं आपको. Like first game week it doesn't matter, but momentum matters, which you have to gradually gain in the middle of the season. I see. I don't see like Guardiola starting this game week. I really don't. I see Akanji or Ake taking their place. Even though I think Guardiola is a favorite to start, but मुझे नहीं लगता वो इस गेम में स्टार्ट करेगा Ipswich के अगेंस्ट. So I'm just stuck at this part कि whether I should triple captain Haaland or not. Because बहुत अच्छा हेड स्टार्ट मिल जाएगा यार, बहुत अच्छा हेड स्टार्ट मिलेगा. एंड कंसिडरिंग उसकी ओनरशिप इतनी हाई नहीं है, इट्स 54%, बट उतनी हाई नहीं है इसकी ओनरशिप. इफ Isak is highly owned than Haaland, then something is wrong in FPL. Some managers are playing it wrong. I'm just being totally biased, but ट्रिपल कैप्टन, why not भाई. एक तो डबल गेम वीक में कभी स्कोर नहीं करता है मेरे लिए. ट्रिपल कैप्टन ऑलवेज फेल्स फॉर मी. Yeah, exactly. We can see We can randomly see Stone starting as a CDM. Rico Lewis start कर लेगा right wing में. So we have no clue. And first home game week है, so there can be rotations. Bernardo can start right wing में. Ben White or Robinson. Oh, this is a close one. This is a very close one. Majority of the managers will go with Robinson over Ben White. But I just have a feeling of, starting a premium over a 4.5 million defender. I think Ben White एक ऐसा player है who can haul. He can haul 14 pointer or a 15 pointer. इसलिए I would say start Ben White over Robinson. मुझे लगता है a lot of players, a lot of managers have taken Robinson, so they might have jinxed Robinson as well. A very weird logic, but still, I would still prefer Ben White over Robinson just because of his, attacking output. Okay, yeah. इसके बाद yeah, just let me check Twitter if there are any leaks, or let me check. I see a lot of hits, and I'm really happy to see them. A lot of hits on my timeline. यही तो बात है, जितना hits लोगे उतना it is beneficial for me. But there are a lot of options as well. You need to, if you're taking a hit, you have to make sure that that person is going to score, because वरना फिर you will fall back. You will fall back. Already transferring out one player, and you're missing out on many premiums, right? I'm missing out on Bruno Fernandes. I'm missing out on Saka. Okay. तो अब अगर आप बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स ऑलरेडी मिस आउट कर रहे हो, तो यू कैन नॉट हैव अ इंजर्ड प्लेयर इन योर टीम. दैट इज माय थिंग. अगर कोई और सीजन होता, कोई और एनी अदर सीजन, आई वुड हैव सेड कि सोलांके को बेंच कर दो, प्ले और बेंच प्लेयर. बट आई थिंक या यू नीड टू ट्रांसफर हिम आउट. ट्रिपल कैप्टन हालैंड, या वी जस्ट टॉक्ड अबाउट इट, तो मैं एक बार रिपीट कर देता हूँ. तो इप्सविच had a really good game versus Liverpool and they did not park versus Liverpool. ठीक है, मैकेना ऐसा मैनेजर नहीं है जो बहुत इजीली पार्क कर देगा. ठीक है, सो दे वर वेरी ब्रेव वर्सेस लिवरपूल, बट नाउ दे आर प्लेइंग अवे वर्सेस सिटी. तो आर दे गोइंग टू पार्क द बस, और आर दे गोइंग टू बी ब्रेव एंड प्ले द हाई लाइन? ओके, हाई लाइन नहीं, मतलब थोड़ा नॉट दैट डिफेंसिव. ओके, तो if they are parking the bus, then it is not good for Haaland. City मारेगी, 5 गोल मारेगी, but it is not good for Haaland if they are parking the bus. Okay, but if they are not parking the bus, फिर Haaland को बहुत space मिल जाता है, which I'm expecting, because Ipswich doesn't like to park. McKenna doesn't like to park. He will play brave. So that is why I'm expecting Haaland to get spaces फिर. ठीक है. But then we have a lot of scorers भी, तो City में बहुत सारे scorers भी तो हैं, right? We have Foden who will start because last game week when he start kiya, he could steal a lot of goals. Foden could get a hat trick out of nowhere. Gundogan can start, right? Yeah. They were unlucky. I think बहुत सारे अच्छे players बहुत अच्छा perform किया, but Ipswich में बहुत सारे injured players भी है, तो उनमें attacking output बहुत कम है. उनके major players जैसे Broadhead is injured for a long time. Omari Hutchinson played last game week, but he's also half injured. Connor Chaplin did not get a lot of minutes. Okay. So D-Lap is going to play versus City, his home team. So I was on triple captain on Haaland, but I just feel that it's too early in the season to play it. Even though it's very tempting, because बहुत सारे managers के पास Haaland है ही नहीं. A lot of managers don't have him. They're preferring Watkins. They're preferring Salah as a premium over Haaland. So आपको एक competitive edge मिल जाता है if you're triple captaining Haaland right now in this part of the season. But for me, it's just too early. But you'll get a huge head start as well. So pros and cons, a lot of pros and cons. So let me just check any league news. So there's, okay, there are 18 minutes. Yeah, but वही तो चीज है ना, ये तो it is a rule made by who? It's logical, but it's a rule made by who? ठीक है. And last two seasons में this has not worked well for me, especially. It has not worked for me. I think Rogers probably is the best option. I think a lot of managers are benching Solanke and starting Rogers. So Rogers for one game week, yes, I will prefer Rogers, but I'm not a huge fan of having 5 million midfielders. Either keep a dead midfielder or keep a 6.5 million midfielder, because 5 million defend a 5 million midfielder is just taking that extra 0.5 million, and that extra 0.5 million can be used somewhere else, either in the defense or in the forwards, or you can upgrade any other midfielder. So from this list, Wings, Rogers, or Ahmad, Ahmad is not going to start. I don't think Ahmad is going to start because of his. He played decent in the last game week, but because of the Garnacho's performance, I don't expect Ahmad to start. And Wings is someone that if you want to keep a dead midfielder in your bench, or he's not, he starts, but you rarely use him, right? So my first option is going to be Rogers, second Wings, and third Ahmad. Definitely a sell. Definitely 100% a sell because he doesn't have captaincy right now. Okay, he was stripped of captaincy and given to Bruno Guimaraes, and Livramento is going to start over him. So I don't see Trippier starting in the next 2-3 game weeks at least, unless we find something concrete. He played in the under 21 game few days ago, but I don't see him starting over Livramento right now, and he's expensive. So sell Trippier. Sell Trippier for someone like Gabriel or Saliba or what do we say, Akanji, or you can look for Pedro Porro as well. That depends on your priorities and how you play the game. If you feel that you need to attack the game, if you feel you have to attack this game week, you have to get him out, because I feel that there are a lot of players that you're already missing out on. Like I'm missing out on Bruno Fernandes and Saka. So ऊपर से if I have injuries, so that will I'll miss out on a lot of players. So if you feel that you are calm and if you feel that Solanke is coming in the next game week, you can bench him. But if you feel that he's not coming in the next game week, I think you should remove him. My personal choice would be to remove him. I don't have him. Luckily, I don't have him and I don't need to make any transfer. But if I had him, I would remove him because there are a lot of options in the game right now. Okay. And if I get it, who I do going to ask? And Muniz. Okay, you already have Muniz, is what I'm understanding. Okay. If you already have Muniz, and I'm guessing you have Isaac or Haaland, it's a tough call. What I would do is I would move to a dead striker of 4.5 million, and next game week may I get an extra midfielder. So I have 5 midfielders. So that is what I prefer. That makes my team much more stable. So if you feel comfortable in that, or else you can go for Wood, Chris Wood, who has decent fixtures, a proven striker. So yeah, Jackson is not going to. Uh, Jackson is not going to get a lot of minutes going into the future. He'll stat pad. He can stat pad assists or goals, but a very risky transfer. A very very risky transfer. Yeah, I heard that. मैंने वो rumors देखे हैं. Uh, but you cannot just keep. What do you say? Let me see. What's the price of Trippier? Okay, let me see the price of Trippier. His price was 6 million. He's 5.9 right now. You cannot just hope for Trippier to just wait for the transfer to happen. कि मतलब मैं wait कर रहा हूँ, चलो वो एवर्टन में जाएगा फिर start करेगा. You can't wait for that, right? You have other options right now. You have to invest that money in other positions, right? So I think Trippier you should remove right now. Not even if you don't like Newcastle, if you don't like Livramento, go for other teams. There are a lot of options right now. Okay, so I think Trippier should be a priority transfer. I think Watkins didn't do well in the first game week. He had 0 shots on target, 0 shots as well, 0 attempts. Next game without taking a hit. If you have 0 in the bank, then you have to remove either another midfielder. Why are you looking at Watkins right now? 9 million is just too much for him. It's not that he's a bad asset. He was a very good asset last season. Very good. A very dependable asset. But we have to wait and watch on Watkins right now. And yes, if you're planning to make that transfer next game week, that's the right decision. Because abhi lena, it doesn't make sense. And with zero at the bank, you have to just save the transfers and you have to remove true transfers and then you can get Watkins. I would say Solanke out. Personally, I gave my reasoning. There are a lot of players that you are already missing out on. बहुत सारे options हैं. Options भर भर के हैं. And the problem is you're already missing out on a lot of players. And if you have an injured player, but if you're confident that he's going to come back in the next game week, then you can keep him. But for me, if I had him, I would remove him. Yeah, it was against Arsenal, but Aston Villa is someone that I expect to do better, right? And but yes, Watkins is not a bad option. Obviously, he's not because I trust Unai Emery. Unai Emery is going to do well this season. Maybe not in UCL, but I see him doing well in Europa League because that is where he performs. That is where he did well with Sevilla as well. Yeah, so Leicester, Everton, Wolves. Wait and watch. I think wait and watch because 9 million is a lot for Watkins. I'll just check if there are any leak news. A lot of managers triple captaining Haaland. Phew, that is a very tough call. Haaland को करना है कि नहीं? Very tough call. Best striker under, okay, best striker under 7.5 million. If you look at the options here, oh, João Pedro, Adam Armstrong. Adam Armstrong. What do you think, Adam Armstrong? Adam Armstrong कैसा लग रहा है तेरे को? 5.5 million. Cute, short, forward. What about triple captain in game week 2? Probably you guys are joining in right now. I've already talked about triple captain Haaland. So basically, इसका logic क्या है? If Ipswich Town are brave enough, they were brave enough versus Liverpool, and they were playing higher line versus Liverpool. उतना high line नहीं कि मतलब half line तक जा रहे हैं. But if they were brave versus Liverpool, will they be brave versus City? And if they are, there will be spaces for Haaland, which means more goals, more attempts. But if they park the bus, then it's a suicide for Haaland. मुझे नहीं लगता फिर Haaland को एक से ज़्यादा goals मिलेंगे if they park the bus. City will score a lot of goals, 5-6 गोल मार देंगे, but Haaland कितना involved होगा if they're parking the bus. And I don't expect McKenna to park the bus. But when you're playing away versus City, and City with the first home game of the season, if you want to get a head start in this season, triple captain is not bad. You have Isaac and Muniz. You don't have Haaland. That's shocking. Isaac and Muniz. You don't want a 4.5. So what's your budget? Your budget is 7.5, right? And if you want a forward, I think, as I said before, Wood. Wood is a decent option. Adam Armstrong is a good option. He's playing Nottingham Forest at home. Southampton's first home game as well. So promoted teams do well in the first few games. And especially if they're playing their first, if they're playing their first home fixture, then they do well. So you can pick either Chris Wood or Adam Armstrong. Early news for Fulham. Fulham is not playing. Is playing at what do we say? 7:30. It's playing at 7:30, so you won't get any league news for now. I'm just waiting to get any league news for United. United से कुछ league news मिल जाए. Because last week we got Ahmad. Ahmad was starting. So yeah, should I play the triple captain or not? As I said before, you can get or Wood or Adam Armstrong because they are probably the proven assets right now. Adam Armstrong is playing at a home game. He's cheap as well, so you save money as well. If you Adam Armstrong is priced at 5.5 million, you save a lot of bucks as well, which you can upgrade. You can upgrade a midfielder in the next game week. So Adam Armstrong is not a bad option. So yeah, let me just check कि कोई league news आ रही है. How is there no league news? There's 8 minutes left, by the way. So lock in your teams. because servers crashed in the first game week and I was going to make a transfer in the last minute and I was not able to do it. So I will say Henderson. टर्न ने स्टार्ट किया था लास्ट गेम वीक आई डोंट रिमेंबर लेट मी सी नॉटिंघम फॉरेस्ट डिड ही Nottingham Forest who started for Nottingham Forest in the first game week टर्नर तो स्टार्ट ही नहीं कर रहा Turner is not starting so what's the point obviously Henderson versus West Ham yeah I think it's not about it's only 0.1 million right if you trust the player if you feel that if you have watched Nottingham Forest if you feel that he's going to get a lot of minutes I think Wood can do well but what I would do is I would downgrade it to a dead player and then upgrade a midfielder but if you're looking for options Wood is probably the best one right now if you're actually looking for options I would say Zogzi as well, but Zogzi, we don't know if is going to start regularly. So the first option is going to be Chris Wood, second is going to be Adam Armstrong. Okay. So 6 minutes left, and this is my team for now. Hopefully, Van de Ven covers Pedro Porro, which is a very big thing to expect from a centre back, but I hope he gets a header or something. Eze is someone that I'm not too confident about, but I just went with the FOMO. Eze is my FOMO pick. Garnacho should do well versus Brighton. I didn't watch Brighton in the first game week, so but they had a very good result versus Everton. Now, if you have someone like Son is a great captaincy option versus Everton because Everton has a lot of players who are injured. Okay, let me just show you the injury list for Everton. There are just 14 first team players available for Everton. Let me just see how many. Okay, Tarkowski is a doubt. What are the surprising starters which you can see in this game week? I can see a lot of rotations as well because Pedro Porro was limping when he was coming out, but he's not that kind of a guy who will just stay on the bench as a precaution. I think Pedro Porro starts, but if he doesn't start, then 5.5 million is a lot to keep on a bench. So that is something that we have to look out for. So make sure that you lock in your transfers. Right now, we are not getting any league news. For now, we are not getting any league news. Probably in the next few minutes. So, who are you going to captain? If I've seen a lot of managers who don't have Haaland, so who are you captaining if you don't have Haaland? I would have gone for Salah. Salah at home game, first home game as well, versus Brentford. Brentford is going to play tight. That's the problem. Wood is in. Team is Henderson, Trent, Guardiola Poro, Saka, Salah, Jota. Jota is someone that is really. Oh, Jota is a really explosive player. Versus Brentford, it will be tough because Brentford likes to, keep their defense really rigid, really close to the players. Even the midfielders like to track back. So, Kafi, they will play it really slow. So, it will be very tough for Liverpool to break them. But they're playing at Anfield. So, I expect Jota to do well. Isaac, Wood, Muniz, Constance, Smithrow. Oh, you have a really good bench. So, that is a good thing. That will help you. Konsa, okay. Okay. So, who are you captaining? This is a good team, and you don't have Haaland. So who are you captaining? Are you captaining Salah? Salah is a very dependable, obviously a dependable asset. Home game, first home game of the season. I would captain someone like Son if I didn't have table captain Haaland. My decision would be no because there's a lot of games left in the season right now. But if you feel that Ipswich Town is going to leave a lot of open spaces for him, you can go ahead. And if it works out for you, you'll get a huge head start going into the season. Malab, you'll get at least 40-45 points. If he scores even a brace, even a brace is a successful triple captain, in my opinion. If you get anywhere about 35 points, then it is a successful triple captain. Lock in your teams, 2 minutes left. Just 2 minutes left. I'm just checking for the last time if there is any leaked lineup. Oh, sorry, leaked players. Any leaked lineups? I don't see any leaked lineups right now, which is sad. I expected कि मतलब यूनाइटेड के एक दो प्लेयर मिल जाएंगे, but I don't see anyone right now. So lock in your teams. Just 2 minutes are left. Make sure you save your teams as well. अभी automatically save हो जाता है. PC में तो automatically save हो जाता है. This is a very tough call, because you need a captain to perform, because the captaincy of Haaland will be higher than 200%. I think expected ownership of Haaland is going to be 200%. Isaac. I think I'm going to go with Salah. Salah. He's on pens. I think they could get a pen. So I'm going with Salah. भाई नहीं मिला ब्रो. स्टार्टिंग लाइनअप there's no, अभी कुछ लीक लाइनअप नहीं आई है, विच इज़ वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट. मैंने एक्सपेक्ट किया था कि कुछ तो रिवील होगा, बट नो आइडिया ब्रो. सो आई डोंट एक्सपेक्ट जोक्सी. I don't recommend Zoxy if you are planning to transfer him in. But 1 minute left. Save your transfers. I'll just check my team. मैंने कुछ चेंज किया कि नहीं. Okay. I don't think I need to change anything. I'm starting Van de Ven, Ruben Diaz, Gabriel. Hopefully the premiums perform for me, and Cuckoo to get more minutes. Lock in your teams. Yes, deadline is passed, I guess. Isaac should do well. Okay. तो एक बार फिक्चर्स की तरफ आ जाते हैं. We were doing the predictions before, so let's just go through predictions again. Brighton versus United. I see 2-1 win for United. इतना तो एक्सपेक्ट करना चाहिए. आफ्टर ऑल ऑफ दीज साइनिंग्स आई एक्सपेक्ट यूनाइटेड टू विन 2-1. क्रिस्टल पैलेस वर्सेस वेस्ट हैम हमने पहले बात किया था. आई एक्सपेक्ट दिस टू बी अ वेरी वेरी स्लो गेम, 1-1. क्रिस्टल पैलेस में Mateta scoring, and for West Ham, someone like Suchek will score. Fulham versus Leicester. I was impressed with Leicester more than Fulham. So I'll go with 1-1 for this game as well. Fulham should somehow win this game, but Leicester did well in the last match. So that's why I'm giving that advantage to them. And 1-1 for Fulham and Leicester. City versus Ipswich, 6-0. 6-0. Gundogan is going to come on and score a goal as well. And then we have Southampton versus Nottingham Forest. This should be an open game. And I think Southampton versus Nottingham Forest. I think 2-2. Southampton, 2-2. No, I think Nottingham Forest can win. I think 2-1 win, 3-1 win for Nottingham Forest. Just because of the injuries of Southampton and the attacking force of Nottingham. They have Hudson-Odoi, Elanga, Gibbs-White, Wood. Spurs versus Everton. Everton with a lot of injuries, a lot of doubts. So Spurs versus Everton, Spurs home game. I see 3-0 with Son scoring a brace and Maddison scoring another. Maddison is someone that is really interesting. Maddison बाद में जाके एक अच्छा ऑप्शन होने वाला है मिडफील्ड में for FPL. Maddison is going to be great. मेरे को काफी अच्छा लगा that Maddison is finally coming back to his form. A lot of players I see a lot of people doubting on Maddison, but I think he'll do well. Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Unai Emery's old club. Will this be an Unai Emery masterclass? Or a straightforward win for Arsenal? They'll just score one goal and keep passing the ball around, keeping it much more stable. you know, moving the ball around near the players. What do you think? Aston Villa versus Arsenal. I think Arsenal wins it 1-0. Is it scoring one goal at the beginning and then playing it slow? Can you see goals? Watkins likes to perform against big teams. It's his thing. He's always in the last season as well. He did really well versus big teams. So do you see Watkins doing well versus Arsenal? I don't. So I'll go with Arsenal 1-0. Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Newcastle's, I think, backline is not that good. So I'm going with 1-1. Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 1. Thanks, bro. See you. See you in the next game week deadline. And then we have Wolves versus Chelsea. Wolves versus Chelsea. This will be tough. Wolves doesn't have they got a striker and they have Acuna starting up front as well. This will be a tough game. This fixture has always been a really high goal scoring fixture. So it's Chelsea are still figuring out the shit. So I expect this game to be 2-2. Wolves 2, Chelsea 2. Okay. Or there can be more goals. Tough because I don't expect Chelsea to keep a clean sheet, and I expect Wolves to respond despite having let go, having not that great players right now. They lost Kilman, who was their captain, and they lost Pedro Neto as well. And Podence is still injured, or where is he? I don't know where's Podence. Podence versus Chelsea. So that is something. And the last fixture is Liverpool versus Brentford. Liverpool versus Brentford is the last one. So if you have captain Salah, you have to wait till the very last game week. Okay. So yeah. So I'll say Liverpool winning this 3-1. It's going to be a slow it's going to be a slow match, but I expect Liverpool to do better. I think Salah should get a pen, and maybe we can see Darwin Nunes in this game week because Darwin Nunes is something that I like a lot as an FPL option. Last season, I held him for a very large period of time, but he didn't do well for me. I lost a lot of points because of owning him in my team. So let's see how Liverpool does. And yeah, so these are the predictions of this game week. And as we can see, yeah, the deadline is done. So this is it for this deadline stream. We'll be talking about the options for, let's see how this game week pans out, because the first game week had very limited data. So we have the sample size is very low. Okay. तो इस गेम वीक से हमें पता चलेगा कि और कौन से players are that we can have in our team, right? The sample size is just too low. First game week literally shows you nothing, and at 61 points. So let's see this game week में a lot of hits. Triple captain Haaland, how will he perform? I have not picked triple captain. I've not triple captain Haaland, but let's see how that pans out. A lot of brave managers out there. Let's see how does another premiums perform. How does Son or Bruno Fernandes performs? Will Saka become an essential? A lot of hits, a lot of ranks movement, a lot of rank movements, a lot of highly owned players getting removed or injured. So let's see how this game week 2 goes. So तब तक के लिए